What happens when you take on your rent-to-rent deal, you spend money on it, you guarantee the landlord's rent, and then 12 months later, instead of cash flow and freedom, you end up losing money? On this video, I'm going to share it all. I'm Simon, rent-to-rent specialist and mentor, and over the past 5 years, I've done a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of rent-to-rent deals, and we've generated some amazing cash flow that has transformed my life. But it doesn't always go right. You know, sometimes, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. And right now, you see me sitting in the middle of a property that I've just given back. All right, it's about a year in and it's just not working. And I feel like not enough people talk about the deals that don't work. You know, it's like, yeah, it is good. And most of my deals do generate £1,000 a month, but not all of them. Now, if you follow me, you will know that I've done a lot of deals in my particular area. So a year ago, I decided I wanted to expand. So I was looking at new nearby cities to expand into, and I found this amazing 2-bed warehouse property, a massive 2-bed. And I thought, you know what, this is a great way for me to test the area and see if it's gonna work. So I've looked at my guest magnets, and there's hotels locally. You know, we're 10 minutes from a major city. We're not a million miles away from hospitals and universities. And I thought, yeah, I think this can work. So I've invested in furniture. You know, I've got the property looking as good as possible. As you can see, really, really nice property anyway, but I've invested a few £1,000s in it nonetheless. And we operated the property as a serviced accommodation. So my hopes were to generate around £150 per night on average, which would generate 4.5 grand, okay, total potential income. At 50% occupancy, I was thinking, okay, well, that's 2,250, guaranteed rent a grand after cleaning and fees. Yeah, this was a big deal, all right? Massive deal in my deal calculator. But the reality's not been the same. I don't know why, you know, so I found myself not getting bookings initially, so I had to drop the prices, and then, you know, the bookings were okay, but not great. Then I've decided, okay, well, I will add 2 more single beds into the bedroom so that I can technically sleep more people. And that did improve things slightly, but I was getting a lot of weekend bookings and not many bookings during the week. But the biggest issue I found here is that for some reason, I'm just not getting the right price, and that's killing the deal. So instead of me getting 150 a night, I'm more like 100 a night. And instead of me hitting 80% occupancy, which I would expect, I'm hitting around 50 to 60% occupancy. And if you follow me, if you know serviced accommodation, you will know that when you get to £85,000 of revenue or more, you register for VAT. So £100 to me is only 80. Do you know what I mean? So before you know it, I started consistently breaking even or slightly losing money. And you know what? You can't just consistently lose money on a deal. So I've had to trigger my 2 months termination clause. Top tip: whenever you do a rent-to-rent deal, you need to make sure that you use the correct agreements, because I signed a 3-year deal here. So if I didn't have the right agreements, I would be stuck now. But as it happens, I used my specialist management agreement, which allowed me to exit this deal within 2 months, finish my last bookings and hand it back. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't always go right. And when it doesn't go right, it does hurt. So what have I learned? Well, first things first, you can be in a great area, but you really need to know how to research the competition. You really need to know this. And what I really recommend you doing is doing dummy ads to make sure that you're seeing that flow of bookings coming in. The second thing I've learned is that 1-bed studios and like this, a 2-bed, can work in the heart of a city in an amazing location. But the further you go out, all right, the less attractive they will be. Because in this property, I wasn't getting the sort of more corporate construction work because we're only got 2 beds and that doesn't normally compete very well with the hotel. So I think if I was to do more deals in this area, I would go a little bit further out and a little bit larger properties, get the guaranteed rent down a bit so that we can charge more and get those long-term corporate bookings. So I hope you found this video useful. I know I'm the realist rent-to-renter, all right? I know I'm the realist guy that tells you how it is, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't always work. So what this means is you need to make sure you get educated, you need to make sure you do your research, and most importantly, you can be the king or queen of rent-to-rent, but it don't mean you're gonna cash flow every deal, and I'm only human. See you in the next video.